WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom. It's Tanner. What's up, bud?
You know, just hang it in. Hang it in.
So, Hawks are on a, for a little bit, they were on a piss poor effort, good effort, piss poor effort, good effort. So we've been on now, it feels like we're mimicking that. We're on a venting episode, pretty good episode, positive. And I feel like now it's back to the venting episode because last night's game, the efforts of one player has pissed me off so much, and I feel fucking betrayed because we had this asshole's back.
Jesus,
we've had his back, and now he's shitting on us.
Shitting on our back.
Shitting on our back. Of course, we're Seth Jones.
Oh, I was gonna say with Peter Mrazek.
Yeah, Peter Mrazek. But it just, it's just getting frustrated, man. Like, I don't even know where to kind of start with this because one, it's like Hawks were 0-3 since we last recorded. They were coming off a big win against Colorado, and then they followed up with a game against Detroit on Friday in Detroit, and just what was it? They only had 7 shots on goal through the first 2 periods.
Oh, I want to say
that.
Yeah, because Detroit has been on a heater.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't get any shots. This game was mainly close and could have been way more out of hand if it wasn't for, I believe this was Soderblom playing, or was this Mrazek? No, this is probably Mrazek. It was Mrazek, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was against his old team. Yeah. This is what's insane. The Hawks had 15 shots in this game, and Donato had 7 of them.
Damn. That's crazy.
He had a sick goal off of, or not a sick goal, a very good goal off of a sick pass from Bedard, who was able to extend his point streak to 9 games at that point. But, the kid sucks, but whatever. Irrelevant.
He's a bum.
Yeah, the fact that this game was only 5-3, the Hawks should feel very, very happy and fortunate for that. Because, just absolutely shit on Patrick Kane with 3 assists. What the fuck? I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, Kaner's been on. I think I saw something since McClellan has taken over as head coach, him and I want to say Lucas Raymond both have 13 points each, and would be first in the NHL in that time span.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Detroit, do you think they've made this coaching change at the right time, or do you think if it's oh shit, we should have did a little bit earlier?
I think it's the right time because they're all the teams are in the hunt right now. They didn't lose a lot of ground. I think are they in the wild card? No, they're just 2 points outside.
Yeah,
they hit. Let's see if they. Yeah, they get another win. Let's see, they're on a 7-game win streak right now. If they get another win, they would be tied. They would actually be ahead of the Blue Jackets for the last wildcard spot. But both teams are currently have a better points percentage than the Bruins, who are in the first wildcard spot too.
Is there a person more relieved that this is working out this way than Stevie Y? Do you think he's oh shit, thank God this
yeah, maybe.
Because he had to have, it might not have been scorching hot, but his seat had to have been heat warmers turning up on those a little bit on that seat in Detroit, I think, given how long their rebuild's been going.
Yeah, it's been tough. When did he take over? I forgot what year it was. Because they had already started their rebuild, didn't they? Or did he start it?
I think they were in it, but I think he restarted it.
Yeah, after the questionable moves that he made in the offseason, I can see how they would be like, all right, what's happening here? Like, what are you doing? Let's see, team info.
But
It's not going to tell me. I don't even know where to find stuff like this now without Cap Friendly. What am I doing? What do I do?
It's so frustrating about that site. I hate it. I really miss it. Fucking sellouts going to fucking Washington. Piece of shit. Anyway, back to Wings talk. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, this game, it's like you don't know like what the fuck it's gonna take to get this team consistently playing. Like we don't expect this team to be winning, but it's like you can't take a step forward and then 12 steps backwards the next game.
Right. Like it would be great to have consistent effort. And it's funny because like if they had consistent effort, they'd be winning more games.
Right. Maybe, and it wouldn't be as embarrassing, like, oh, Chicago sucked again, lost again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and two, then it's like after this one, you had Foligno talking about how this team's gotta, really bear down and find their identity and figure out what it is. It was like a leadership meeting. And it's like, how many times have we heard that this year?
Right. How many meetings are you gonna have before you're just kind of like, all right, what the fuck?
It's like, yeah, you just talking to a wall at this point, like, and
feels
just,
like it.
But
it's crazy to come out like that after beating Colorado 3-1, which is, I mean, that game was all on Mrazek too, because 35 saves against Colorado is insane.
Right.
And then I think they just got to stop doing the, you had a great game, like you're going to get the next one. Probably the goalies are probably like, let's just rotate because we have to make 30 plus saves to get a win. I'm just going to be too tired no matter how much time's in between games for the next one. Like, let's just go back and forth.
I'm surprised they didn't go to Soderblom and put Mrazek against Edmonton. Like, I know Detroit is like on a heater, but I feel like Edmonton's the better team of those two. And I think Mrazek would have been a better option against Edmonton.
Yeah, but if you're looking to get just a win, your best chance of winning is the first game of a back-to-back.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
But I still think, like, at this point, let's just go Mrazek, Soderblom, Mrazek, Soderblom, Mrazek, Soderblom, until maybe you get to a point where it's like, okay, Mrazek's winning all of his games, like Soderblom's losing all of his, like maybe start going 2-1, or it could be the opposite way too. But I just they can't string wins together when they're trying to have the goalies take multiple games in a row.
I thought you were gonna say Mrazek, Soderblom until Boursois gets back, and then it's Mrazek, Soderblom, Boursois, Mrazek, Soderblom.
Yeah, I don't even know what's gonna happen there. Like, I feel like he's gonna end up getting traded, like before he ever plays a game.
Somebody's gonna get traded. Honestly, I would not be shocked if a team kicks the tires on Mrazek.
Yeah,
he's only gonna have 1 year after this.
Yes, yeah, and like his cap hit's not too bad. It's just, I think that when it comes to trading for a goalie, especially if it's just to shore up what you have, a lot of teams have like their starter and maybe want to just guarantee a good backup. And I don't know if teams want. Oh, I forgot Boursois has another year. Oh shit!
Yeah, they signed for 2.
Oh man, that'd be weird. But it'd be funny if he ended up getting traded without ever playing a game for us.
Did he ever play it? Then is he ever considered a Chicago Blackhawk?
He signed a contract here.
Never played preseason. Never did.
If you ask Puck Doku, he would not be an answer for Blackhawk goaltender.
I would say the same thing. Like, is Henrik Lundqvist at Washington Capital?
Is Corey Crawford a New Jersey Devil?
No.
Exactly.
The other thing about this game, the only other thing I had about this game was it pretty much put the nail in the coffin for all I needed to see from Phil Kurashev.
Oh, dude, I completely forgot he played that game until you said that defensive play where he just like reaches, like almost falls, and then just stands there and watch them score. And it's just like, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah, he needs to just sit in the press spots. And I tweeted this out under the account. I'm like, don't even bother putting through waivers. Like, it's not worth taking a spot from somebody in Rockford to send him down there and have him play down there. Just put him in the press spots, give him his paycheck, and then let him fucking walk in July.
I mean, like, you send Athanasi out through waivers, right? So you can find his confidence in the AHL. Like, why not for Kurashev?
Because I don't think there's anything coming back from Kurashev. I don't think there's anything coming back from Anthony either. But Anthony hasn't played as poorly as Kurashev has in the minimal time that Anthony's had. Like, I cannot tell you a time this year that Kurashev hasn't been just piss poor. He's either been piss poor or just totally irrelevant.
Yeah, it's crazy to be minus 28 in so few games.
Yeah, and how many games has he been held-bound this year? Like,
he's been out for a while at this point, but he's
played 31 games,
and he's a minus 28. Yeah, so he's out there for a goal against basically every game,
and 5 points.
Before we even started, I mentioned, like, Nolan Allen has more points than Philip Kurashev. Like, granted, Nolan Allen has 6 more games played, but Nolan Allen's also a defensive defenseman.
Yeah, he's not an offensive defenseman. He actually
which is funny because, like, in this game that we're talking about, Nolan Allen assist +1.
I saw something the Hawks posted that Nolan Allen actually is second among rookie defensemen in points.
Oh, no way! Get him on
get
him in the Calder nomination.
Or what was that? Was it that? I mean, let me double check that. Because that doesn't seem right now that I say it out loud. But like, I do know they posted
what other rookie defensemen are there other than Lane Hudson? That'd be really funny. It's like, yeah, it's Lane Hudson and then Nolan
Allen.
Like, I feel like that's not the same.
Yeah, second among all NHL rookie blue liners, 7 assists and 8 points in 36 games.
No shit. There's no way.
It doesn't seem right.
You're telling me that there's no other rookie defenseman that have more than 8 points?
Do I have to call bullshit on the Blackhawks?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm pulling it up.
Does the Blackhawks social team need to get fired for?
No, it's right, dude.
It is
Lane Hudson with 32, and then Nolan Allen with 8.
That's amazing.
That's good, crazy. The next guy is Drew Hellison with 5, and then
Crevier's got to be up there then.
Yeah,
is he considered rookie?
Yeah, Crevier's got 2 points. He's got 2 goals.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, he would be tied for second in rookie defenseman goals. I guess tied for third because there's 2 guys that have 3. Lane Hudson.
That's
has
a social
3,
media post right there. We just make a graphic of like all our defensemen, like second here.
Here's the future. Fucking Nolan Allen.
Ignore the fact that there's no other competition at those positions, really.
They're second in rookie defenseman points. Nolan Allen. That's insane. I love it.
That's awesome. Like, that's so ridiculous that that's like true.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's only 25 rookie defensemen that have played at least 1 game.
I guess that's fair
this season. It's funny because I feel like you know that one kid in Ottawa, Carter Yakimchuk.
Yeah.
So he had that insanely good preseason. Then they still didn't have him do his they could have had him play 9 games, right? Like, why not? I feel like he probably would have been in second place though at this point. The kid was doing so well.
Yeah.
But fuck, that's so funny. I love it.
You mean to tell me a team that's run by Stan Bowman made a poor decision on roster management?
What are you talking about?
Did you say Edmonton?
No, Ottawa.
Oh, Ottawa. I was gonna say. They said
Ottawa.
Edmonton.
Ottawa.
Okay. Well, speaking of Edmonton,
That's so funny though.
You got anything else on Detroit game? You want to just move on to Edmonton real quick here?
Oh, I think that's it. That's all I got. I just think it's funny because like talking about Nolan Allen for as long as we did about how people focus on the Hawks being so shitty offensively and then completely disregard that Alex Vlasic is super fucking good and Louis Krejci is holding his own and Wyatt Kaiser's doing pretty goddamn good and Nolan Allen is really appearing this year. It's like they suck as a team and Bedard's the worst, but like biggest bust. I'm like Celebrini is so much better and let's completely disregard the fact that we have 4 young defensemen basically leading our blue line and are looking like they're going to be pretty fucking good in the future, but whatever.
Well, and then you have, we've been talking about him, Rinzel.
Yep.
Who
is likely going to be coming in at the end of this, near the end of the season.
Yeah. And then yesterday it was during the
pregame,
Frank Cervelli was just absolutely putting him up on a pedestal and just talking about how good he could be.
Yeah, it's funny because he was mentioning that what the topic was Lev Shanov and about how he's like a key piece for the Hawks' future because Alex Vlasic already looks like he's going to be a fantastic defenseman for the Hawks for years to come.
Oh, he's set.
And then he goes, Sam Rinzel is looking like he could be just as good, if not better, than Brock Faber when he comes into the NHL. So it's like, okay, so boom, that's awesome. He's like, he's a bona fide top pairing defenseman. And if Lev Shanov can also be that guy and your defensive core, your big 3 are Keith, Seabrook, and Hjalmarsson of the past, and then now it's going to be Vlasic, Lev Shanov, and Rinzel of the future. He's like, that's going to give Korchinski so much room to just not have to worry about all the pressure of being like the guy that he'll probably end up being super fucking good. And, you know, having the other pieces around, they're going to have so many like trade chips that they could use to get like any kind of offensive players that they need. So it's pretty fucking great. And I'm still curious because I don't know if I asked you this, but like, do you think, I think we might have talked about it outside of the podcast, but if the Hawks end up with the first overall pick and like everybody's saying consensus is Matthew Schaefer and Schaefer's gotten comparables of like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. It's like, would you rather take Schaefer and then trade somebody that we have, or just skip Schaefer and take somebody who might not be as good?
I think if the Hawks get number one, you discuss who's at 2, 3, and 4. See if any of those teams need a defenseman.
Yeah.
You pick swap and get a little bit extra in it.
Yeah, like you entertain the idea of moving the pick in order to possibly get like a prospect plus like 2, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think that, and it's not me saying like, oh, I don't want that kid or anything like that. I think after taking Leshunov last year,
yeah,
and it's like people's criticism was, oh, Demidov should have been the pick, and it's like it's a valid point that the Hawks needed a bona fide winger forward to go with Bedard. It's a valid thing. I just think it's overreacting, saying like, oh, Leshunov's a bust because it wasn't Demidov kind of thing. I think if they're picking one, unless there's no reason to not take him, yeah, you take him. But I think it's more important to grab a forward just because of how deep of our pool is at defense.
Yeah. I'm just, if the kid is possibly supposed to be as good as like a Cale Makar or a Quinn Hughes, like they're so fucking good.
Right.
Like, because then at that point, your top pairing is probably Schaefer and Rinzel or Schaefer and Levshunov, and then your second pairing's Vlasic and Rinzel or Levshunov, like that's just so disgusting. And you can just trade one of your defensive prospects for a winger that you really need.
Well, here's another, and I don't even know if this is like a legitimate, if it's just me playing NHL 25 and just trying to figure out, ways to move it. You take Schaefer number 1.
Yeah.
You go look at 2, 3, and 4, 5, maybe even 5, because I think after that there's 4 forwards that have been like tossed in there as like could be the top pick.
Okay.
3 or 4, whatever.
It's Porter Martone, Michael Misa, and James Higgins.
So 3, yeah. No, 4?
With Schaefer is 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's 3. So you talk to the top 3, and then do you entertain the idea of maybe moving Leshunov to get 2, 3, or 4?
I think you would be entertaining the idea of moving Korchinski because Schaefer is a left-handed defenseman, Vlasic's left-handed defenseman, Korchinski's left-handed, and then on the right's Rinzel, on the right's Levshunov. So, like, don't be so loaded up on the left side, unless you have Korchinski just move to the right.
But so depend. Copy paste prospect A, prospect B. Would you entertain trying to see if you can move them to get into the top 5 and have 2 picks top 5? Or do you think that's cost too much?
I'm sure you would entertain it.
Especially after the rumors of him trying to get 4 last year on top of
with an unprotected first for the next season.
Because you got 2 first-round picks this year.
Yep.
Still, you got Toronto's, and then I think next year it goes back to just
1 as of right now.
1.
I mean, if we don't get any first rounders or anything from this draft, this trade deadline,
which doesn't look like it's going to be. I mean,
if we could honestly like do the first this year and an unprotected first next year, I think that would be a great move.
The Toronto first this year, or
the Toronto first this year and then an unprotected first next year, because it's like such a good gamble. If you can get 2 guys in the top 5 this year, but that's like such an NHL 25 kind of fucking thing.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I said, I'm like,
but they tried it, right? They tried it last year.
Yeah.
Like how
I don't know if it's like a legitimate idea or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if I'm just playing too much 25, like trying to.
But like, okay. So like, how could it work? Cause if you do like Toronto this year, unprotected in first next year, and then like maybe somebody like a B-level prospect, I don't know. So much. Anyway, we were talking about Edmonton.
Yeah, this is also like now that we're talking about it, this is why I'm really hoping that the Hawks kind of like are drafting 4th.
I would prefer third
or 4th, but I mean I don't
second
want them drafting
third,
top
really.
2.
I think honestly, 2 or 3 would be great. Because then I don't have to feel so bad that we we lost out on first. Like we didn't get that guy. Like that sucks. But like if we have first, it's like, okay, if the best player in this entire draft is a defenseman, that's very frustrating. Because like if he's gonna be so good, like you gotta fucking take him.
But you could have a good haul though from trading that first pick, and it could stay in the top 5.
Yeah. Potentially. You could I feel like a team, if it's like San Jose, right? If they're like sitting 3 and you go like, hey, like we'll swap picks and then you give us
Celebrini, call it even.
Yeah, Celebrini. I was thinking like one of their other like later first rounders that they had drafted like recently, like see if they would move one of those like forwards and be like, yeah, do that swap, but I don't know.
Besides Schaefer, do you have someone you're leaning towards that is like, if we had to make a draft selection like tomorrow?
I think Hagen's. I like Hagen's, but how many like smaller, like the size thing is like, it's such a dumb thing to worry about. Like when you're talking about one guy, right? You shouldn't really worry about the size. But when you start talking about like how your team is built, you don't really want to have a bunch of smaller guys. And we already have a couple, and that's why if it's not Higgins, I'm thinking I'd rather have Martone.
That's kind of who I'm leaning towards too, and because he's naturally a winger, he's not a center.
Yeah, and he's a power forward too. Like he's not afraid to fucking throw his body around. Like
6'2", 208 pounds.
6'2"? I thought he was 6'4".
According to so they just did like their mid-season ranking.
Mm.
And he's listed as 6'2".
That's still that's decent. That's like league average, maybe, or league
I
average
mean, he'll be like
6.
6. He's like 6'4" then on skates, give or take.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, that's what I'm leaning to. The other one that I think, but yeah, it's so many centers. Like
yeah, I mean,
10,
at that point, if you get somebody
top
that
10
can
is
win
all
faceoffs,
D and center except for Martone. He's the
Yes.
only winger that's like in the top 10 for the North American skaters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's this Victor Eklund kid, but he's like sitting at 7 in like 5, 6, 7 in some rankings. But yeah, Porter Martone. That's what I.
Yeah,
That's what
so I mean that's a name
say.
if you're looking for players to kind of keep an eye on the rest of the
He's
year.
listed at 6'3" on Elite Prospects.
Okay, so it's 3 different heights.
Yep. he's somewhere over 6 foot.
Yeah. So Edmonton.
Yep. Back to it.
I actually watched this game and I already feel like I forgot. I didn't watch it.
The Hawks went up 2-0, and I thought,
yeah.
Oh yes, we are going to lose this one.
Oh, this was a great play by Teravainen on the Foligno goal. That's right. He threw it behind the net, like perfectly right on the spot of the boards where it pops right to Foligno, and he was able to sneak it past Picard.
Yeah,
without before he can get over. Yeah, totally out of
smashed it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Hawks went up 2-0, I honestly did have a thought of like, oh, maybe we do have a chance of actually, winning this one and holding on to a lead. And then as the game went on, I was like, we're not gonna fucking hold on to this lead. Are you kidding me?
The funny thing is, McDavid, no points. Hawks played McDavid very well. Like Vlasic was playing. Like the one thing I really noticed was how well Vlasic was playing McDavid in this game.
Yeah, dude. There was times where like he was 1-on-1 with him, and he just like McDavid stick handling, and he just went boop. I was like, he makes it look so easy. Like
McDavid, let me see. I feel like McDavid. The Hawks played McDavid very well.
Yeah, it's Jason Dickinson.
Let's see.
They do play him really well. There was a time where like he had no points against the Hawks for a while, and then he went off like crazy.
Let's see. Splits career
by team.
Yeah.
Do you guess who got an assist this game too?
Scory Perry?
Nolan Allen.
Oh. Oh no, Scory Perry scored.
Scory Perry did score. As soon as he fucking had the puck, I was like, oh no.
Okay, so he has picked up against the Hawks. I mean, 22 games, he's got 31 points, 11 and 20. But for a while, and I feel like that's recently too.
Yeah, I think the first few years he didn't have any points against the Hawks when we still had Taves and Kane.
Yeah, but McDavid's a bust. What are we talking about here? What are we wasting our time talking about McDavid being?
Yeah, let's talk about Jack Eichel instead. He's got a cup. McDavid doesn't. Jack Eichel's better.
I don't see a lie there.
Yeah.
America better than Canada.
That's right. USA,
Suck
baby.
It. But
this was just different game.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know how much we can talk about it like over and over.
It's just it sucks when somebody like Zach Hyman, who's not like having the same year as he did last year, scores the game winner. Because I'm like, I bet that feels good for him. Fuck you. I bet that feels nice. Fuck you.
he just buys an OHL team and now he gets a game-winning goal.
Yeah, dude. There's no reason Zach Hyman should even be in the NHL if his parents didn't have money.
Right.
That's fucking bullshit. The Hawks would have won this game if Zach Hyman's parents did not have money. I'll tell you that.
Can we talk about because okay, so I'm rewatching his goal and they just showed like the box that had McDavid and Bedard's family sharing it. Can we talk about how creepy it is that McDavid's brother is like a freaking clone of McDavid? It is like at first I was like, wait, is he not playing today?
Oh no shit, dude. How often do you think he uses that to his advantage, like out at the bars or
God.
something?
Remember when McDavid was like in trouble or people were like pulling an old video of McDavid holding like leaving a club or holding the hand of like some other chick that wasn't his fiance or whatever? Yeah. It was really his brother.
Yeah. He's just out there fucking stirring it up. And then he's doing that just so in case Connor ever wants to do something similar, like he could just blame it on his brother. Like everything's fine.
Track record's here. I mean, it's there. You saw it coming.
There's no point in denying it.
So they dropped that one. Unfortunately, Bedard doesn't get a point in this one, so he snapped his
9-game
point streak at 9 games. Kid's a fucking bomb, dude. Hang it up. Don't even bother.
Sitting at 99 points for his career. Couldn't even get .100 versus McDavid. Jesus.
Dude, does he even care? So then we go into yesterday's game against the Flames. I was not able to watch this game, so I'm going to have to defer to you.
I think it like the thing that was frustrating is like they came out kind of soft, especially against a team that, you know, the one fucking guy, Pospisil, went and took some high hits against Nazar and Bedard last time. And so I was like, okay, like before the game even like started during the day, I was like, they're going to fucking come out. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be ready to fucking take some heads. Not really. Not what happened. Jacob Pelletier, like he fucking scored his second and third goal of the year. They had some kid who just it was his first NHL game. He got 2 assists. It was Karen's. And it was just like frustrating. I mean, Louis Crevier, man, fucking bring in the offense, which is hilarious, but just clapping it from the fucking point. And the cool thing about that goal, I mean, it wasn't a slap shot, but he's taking a few shots during this game. The one thing I really liked about the goal is all the players on the ice. It was Reichel, Nazar, Doc, Vlasic, and Crevier. I was like, look at all the kids out there having fun.
And honestly, that's what it's got to be. Like,
I feel like they can do a better job at holding their own at this point than like having Seth Jones out there fucking turning the puck over or Philip Kurashev out there standing still while somebody scores. And it's just like, God, like, damn, dude.
This team, if they're not gonna win games, they're not gonna compete. You know, all that. I rather let these fucking kids go out there, get the experience,
show some fight,
and then the other thing too is I was seeing this today before practice. Youngsters on the ice ahead of Blackhawks practice: Doc, Bedard, Nazar, Reichel, Kurashev. So they're out there before practice skating. When there's optional skates, they're the only ones out there too. Like they're out there, they're trying to be better and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know what? They fucking want it. They're sick of this. They want to change this culture of out here. And it's like, fucking let them play. Like I don't care if we're losing all these games if our young guys that are actually going to be a part of this
are getting the
experience. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to find this fine balance of like getting the kids ice time, but also like having the veterans show them how it's done too, and like having the veteran presence and the assistants. And they're still trying to find that, which is insane halfway through the year. But you know, it just doesn't seem like everybody always fucking shows up to play. It's like only a few guys show up to play.
It really feels like all the vets are phoning it in.
Yeah, I mean, in this
Minus
game,
my
I think Mrazek could have had a better game too.
Yeah,
and it sucks when, like, because when he gives up some bad goals, it's so much more obvious because of how well he also plays. But he with how poor that they play defensively at times, like he needs to always be on. Otherwise, it just all looks terrible.
Oh yeah.
So it was just a few, like the one goal. Which one was it? The Sharangovich, the shorthanded goal where he just stick handles, and he's with him the whole way until like the very end where he lifts his leg a little bit and they just slides it under. And I was just like, oh, like I know he wants that one back so badly. And like the wrist shot for the first goal, he just gets beat so clean. Like there's no screen or anything. He's just like, I'm sure he's fucking pissed. It just, I don't know.
I just think of like freaking Goon, and the goalie is just, and the goalie is like self-sledding him, and like his own team's chirping him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, I feel like that's Mrazek right now.
Ball.
Yeah, Mrazek is just like, can I fucking get some support here? Like, same fucking team.
Well, yeah, you get. But, what was it? Can you comment on your favorite part of that shorthanded goal where Seth Jones gives it up?
So Seth Jones gives it up. Puck goes in the net. Seth Jones pretends the back check comes to there. Puck's in the net. He goes to angrily toss the puck out of the net and whiffs on it.
Just so funny. Just like makes the turnover because he can't make a pass, and then he fucking can't even frustratingly hit the puck out of the net. And you're just like, what's happening? I think the craziest thing about this game is the fact that all the kids defensively played more minutes than Seth Jones.
We'll get to Seth Jones in a second here, because this is, I think he is going to be a bigger discussion with him about him and everything. But
yes.
One more thing, looking at the replay of this goal, what kills me is like, not only does he not make the pass, he looks up and he sees two flames right there.
Yeah.
And he still just gently tosses it up the middle.
Yeah. I don't know what the plan for
Did
that
he just
was.
see the red shoulders of the Calgary jersey and was like, close enough?
Like that, like I don't understand, like not going to the boards with it, like not trying to like get it deep, like he throws it to the mid. Like it's so weird.
The last thing I want to talk about with this game before we start talking about Jones, Connor Bedard.
Yes, Bedsy fucking ripped.
Bedsy picks up point number 100. Took 112 games to do it. Ironically, that ties him seventh all fastest in Blackhawk history among among teenagers with Jeremy Roenick, which to me is just so damn funny given, the whole like Roenick comments and all that stuff about the disrespect and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, he reached 100 points in the same amount of games as Austin Matthews. He did it faster than
same amount of games as Austin Matthews. Okay, that's actually
same.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, did it quicker than Jack Hughes. Did it quicker than McKinnon.
It sucks though,
dude. Like that's the thing. It's like I don't. How much more does it need to be done? Like what else needs to be done for people to be like, no, he's good, because he's that quick. Where he gets his points, I mean, just under 12 game, like
it had to be on the power play, so like he can't score 5-on-5 because he sucks.
And that brings my other point. What I'm trying to say though, it's like, look at what he's been working with these last 2 seasons in terms of offensive weapons and offensive pieces around him, and he's still doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be doing better if he didn't suck.
Right. But yeah, Bedsy, 100 points. It's gonna be the first of many milestones like that. But Seth Jones,
Yes, Seth Jones.
You were talking about minutes.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah,
All the kids getting more ice time on the back end than Seth Jones, and he was still a -4. And like, I
Vlasic.
mean, a big problem for like at least 2 of the goals just not being strong on the stick in front of the net. Or I mean, that one's kind of weird because it bounced around, hit some weird places. Everybody was too soft in front of the net anyway. But that shorthanded goal is just such a glaring, fucking brutal maneuver. Like I don't know.
Like I don't know if he rushed back from that injury too soon or something, because I mean he wasn't playing this bad to start the season.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
you can't tell me that the coaching change affected him, because Sorensen's like game plan is he wants the defense involved in the offense, and
Mm-hmm.
that is
That's
bread and butter for Seth Jones.
yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Vlasic played almost 10 full minutes more than Seth Jones, and he was a +1.
Like Vlasic, like we've already talked about Vlasic with this, but this is like Vlasic is like you don't even pencil him in that top 4. You take fucking in stone, grave it in,
Sharpie
dude,
to the whiteboard.
Stanley Cup type engraving to the whiteboard to keep him in this position, because it is just so obvious at how far he's falling. And I don't know if it's just him checked out because of the situation and being in a rebuild his entire career.
Yeah, right.
Is it he's hurt? Is it he's pissed off that other players are getting opportunities and he thinks he's the guy, which we've kind of talked about with how he reacts with Bedard on the power play. Like I don't know what explanations to have for him anymore when it comes to like on ice play.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then you want to keep him as a captain on this team, and he doesn't speak to the media after crucial losses, like big losses in the Winter Classic and this one. And yes, you can make the argument, which has been pointed out to me, that it's not up to the players. The team provides, what players speaks to the media
The
availability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a letter on your jersey, it shouldn't matter what type of game you personally had or what your mindset is. You're a fucking leader on this team. You fucking get out there in front of the media and you answer questions. Like it's just I don't understand why are they protecting him because he's a vet and in his contract and all this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, the way he played last night, he deserves Khrushchev treatment. He deserves to spend the next game in the box, because it was almost the same, if not like, like almost as bad of a play that resulted in a goal. And I know it's tomato with like defensive and offense and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, at what point do you got to say, hey, this you need to do something with him, whether it's healthy scratching him, whether it's demoting him and giving him less minutes consistently, or like, changing his role. I don't know.
Like part of me thinks that like you just gotta maybe go back to the pairing of him and Vlasic.
But do you want to do that to Vlasic?
Maybe. I just like I don't know. I feel like that would be a solution.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, try anything, but it's like, who's Vlasic been playing with?
Crevier.
And Crevier's been playing great.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to? That now it's like, okay, do you go back to what was working for Seth Jones, or do you want at the expense of a young kid who's seeing success, or do you want to let the kids play and keep doing what they're doing and just let Seth Jones free fall and potentially just ruin any possible trade value that could be for him?
That's the other thing too. Like, I'm curious to see what the future holds.
Is it just mirrors? Does it feel like
just have Vlasic out there for 60 minutes and we'll be fine.
But does it just mirrors? It kind of feel like something's coming where like there's gonna be a change this offseason involving Seth Jones.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
I think it's more likely than what we originally thought was possible.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's just like, armchair GM and thinking that everything's so impossible. It's just not really. I mean, the salary cap's going to go up like $9 million.
Yeah, they're saying something like it was projected $9 million again,
That's
but that's
Seth Jones numbers.
Yeah, that's also Walsh, agent, an agent saying that. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. He says that it's supposed to be like $97 million next year. So I mean,
I guarantee like a team like the Bruins or a team like Carolina, where they have some set defensemen, would still absolutely love to have Seth Jones on their D line.
Would you take retained salary on Seth Jones for the remainder of his contract if it meant getting him out of here?
Maybe like a percentage that's not 50%. But I mean, at that point too, like I don't think it really matters if the cap really goes up as much as it's supposed to. I would just consider whatever you retain on Seth Jones to be part of, in my mind, just like the salary you're paying Vlasic, because that's the same time frame, and he's going to be so criminally underpaid. He's only making 4.6, and it's just kind of like, okay, well now we're just spending 6.6 on Alex Vlasic, because a Seth Jones at 7.5, like teams would absolutely give up 2 firsts for that or some shit like stupid.
Oh, I don't think 2 first.
I know, it came out of my mouth and I was like, that's not right. But a first for sure. Well, we gave up 2 firsts for a Seth Jones.
Yeah, it was also fucking Stan Bowman doing that. So what do you?
So
what do you
Edmonton,
expect?
hey, pick up.
That's what I was saying too. I keep seeing like things about Edmonton's looking for defense. Edmonton's looking for defense, and I was like, well, Stan Bowman, you stand by your moves.
Yeah.
No balls. Do it again.
Do it again. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to go. He has got to go.
Gats to go.
Fucker's got to go.
I mean, or pick up the play. Like, just either way, though, I feel like when we're looking at where we want to be in like 3-4 years, I feel like the plan is to have, Lev Shanoff here, Renzel playing more big minutes. Like, does it make sense to still have Seth Jones also on the right side at that point?
Seth Jones is a very expensive transition piece.
Yeah,
like
he's definitely helpful to get to the cap floor.
Yeah, the way that this team has gone from when he was acquired to now in what seems to be like the future plan, he just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things, right? When like the GM that you have now like has to deal with the decisions of the previous. And luckily that's the only issue that we have from
the last one. Yeah.
It's a doozy, but I feel like with where the team's heading, we're still on the correct path for the future, and I'm sure he can get something done. I feel like if the return was terrible, like there's nothing worse than keeping him on this team to eliminate a roster spot for the future if he's still here like 4 years from now. I think that would be the worst.
Yeah.
If they got a third for him, I'd be like, okay, great, whatever. Now we have the space available to have Renzel and Lev Shanoff be there in the future.
I think next year there's a couple of things that it's really going to be like a telltale sign for him and how this is going to go. One is the head coach that comes in and just what his like mindset is and how he's going to run this team. And then 2, I think is how confident they are in a Leshinov or and a Renzel and when they are going to make the jump full time.
Yeah.
Because if those guys make the jump and they're not fully ready, then you're kind of looking for like a piece to fill the spot. But if they move from Seth Jones, I think that's a great sign that one, if not both of those guys are good to go.
Yeah. I mean, if Renzel's already getting compared to Brock Faber and could have the same rookie year, if not a better rookie year, then let's fucking go. Brock Faber was playing top 2 minutes immediately.
Yeah. So it's like it's almost like you're gonna have to move on from him. I don't see this being 2 years at the most, maybe a year and a half. I think is what we have left with Seth Jones. I feel.
Yeah. If they move Seth Jones in the offseason and we go into next year and it's Vlasic and Renzel and Schaefer, Connor Murphy, and like Kaiser and Nolan Allen. Like we still got TJ Brody, you still got Louis Crevier, still got Korchinski. Like that's another reason where I'm like, geez, even moving Seth Jones, like there's still like I feel like they still have to draft looking forward because like that's too
No,
many.
yeah, 100%. I do think the plays are forward.
Again, going back to it, like if the best player available by far is that kid, then like you gotta fucking do it.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It just depends on where they end up drafting. It's like if they're first
Yes.
overall, do you take the best player available? Is there an offer on the table to move down?
Do we get third or we get fourth? And we're like, cool, we'll definitely just pick up whatever forward. And then the forwards all get taken 1, 2, 3. And we're like, well, I guess we're taking Schaefer then.
Yeah, who would even be? I know we're kind of running along here.
Nashville.
Buffalo doesn't need a defense. Nashville, San Jose, I think, could use defense. I think Nashville needs to get some younger guys in the back end.
San Jose definitely needs defense prospects for the future.
Maybe Kraken falls down a little bit. They can always use some defense.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get one of those drafts where, like a 10 goes to 1. Get Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, Pittsburgh 11. Utah sneaking in the first pick. And then I don't know, you'll never hear from him again. Anyway, speaking of Nashville, they're coming up on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Probably should do the schedule. I haven't even looked at the schedule that far ahead.
So it's Thursday, in Nashville. Saturday, Vegas at home. And Monday, Carolina at home. So
that's a little tough stretch there.
Has Nashville been playing better?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? Damn. Okay.
I'm just saying that. I don't know. I'm really paying attention.
Nashville has lost 2. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10.
Well, I mean, they've been playing better than us, so
yeah,
that's what it is.
3 points better than us. Look out.
And then you got Carolina. I'm sorry, Vegas, who is leading the West, right?
They're tied with Winnipeg right now.
Yeah. And then Carolina,
who's just third in the Metropolitan.
Better point percentage than the fake ass New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
Frauds. So
damn. Washington fucking first in the league with Winnipeg and Vegas. Yeah. Good for them.
Ovi 22 away.
Jesus.
Fucking lining up for him to break it against Chicago.
Is it really? I was gonna say against Pittsburgh, but
I'm just thinking. I'm just knowing the Hawks, and I feel like it's just gonna happen that way.
It'd be great if he breaks it with an Ovechkin.
With him, the second player in NHL history to have 20 consecutive 20-goal seasons.
Woo! 20 consecutive 20-goal seasons. That sounds fucking made up. Who's the first one?
Where was it? Should fucking have this shit ready for when I.
Yeah, right. 20 consecutive 20 goals. That's insane.
Gordie Howe.
Oh, I was gonna say it's got to be like Gordie Howe.
Avalanche Jordan's Gordie Howe is the only players in NHL history to score 20 or more goals in 20 consecutive seasons.
And Gordie Howe did it 22 straight seasons.
Dude, Ovi is so fucking good.
That's crazy. I love it. What did they say? Ron Francis is the only other player in NHL history to have scored at least 20 goals in 20 seasons over the course of his career, consecutive or not. So Ron Francis has 20 goals in at least 20 seasons, but not consecutive. But Ovechkin and Howe have them in consecutive years. That's crazy. It's so crazy. I love it. So
Dude, just imagine. I mean, he'd be. This is gonna be a ridiculous statement to say, but I'm gonna say it. If it wasn't for the lockouts, I think he'd be flirting with 1,000 career goals.
Yeah, easily. Lockouts and shortened seasons.
Yeah,
like the COVID shortened seasons. The fucking his rookie year was a lockout year. Like, are you kidding? He scored what 56 his rookie year.
Let's see. Pull him up.
It's literally something stupid like that. It's crazy. Can you imagine like Bedard scoring 56 in his rookie season?
52 his rookie season.
52.
52, 46, 65, 56, 50,
so,
32,
I mean,
you
you can probably tack on at least another 45 just that rookie year, right? You get another fucking 18 to 25 for that one shortened season. So like
I mean, he had 20 the shortened season.
32 that 1 year where it was only 48 games.
It was the 1920 season that was shortened, right?
Yes. Well, 1920 and 2021. Those are both
right, but like
seasons.
the one that got cut short. So he had 48 goals in 68 games in the one that was cut short. And then in the short season, he had 24 and 45. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say like the 2 seasons I was talking about, he'd probably have at least 75 more goals. So that would be the record right there. But then you're looking at 950 almost with how many he probably could have had at this point.
He led the league in goals in the lockout shortened season. Well, then it was what 4 straight years he won the Rocket Richard.
Something like that. Let's see. Awards.
He's fucking stupid.
Hart Memorial for 3 years. Rocket Richard. He has so many. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years in a row.
4 years in a row, 9 total.
And then 3 years in a row. And
then 2 in a row.
And then 2 in a row. It's so funny.
He's so fucking good.
Yes, he is. It's so dumb that on his page, it's like Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy, and it says the season, and then it just says games played, and not like goals. All right, thanks. He's good. I love it. Hope he gets it.
All right, let's wrap this up here.
Yeah.
Episode 305. We're gonna call it "He's Gots to Go."
Seth
Jones. Gots to go.
Wish him the best.
Make sure to subscribe and like this video. Follow us on your favorite podcast feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the big two, but we're on all of them. Social media at WCB Podcast. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.